From ramping up all-season resorts to a first-of-its-kind social media ban, bracing for the holiday travel season, and a novel approach to extending the life of Christmas trees. Our Primetime This Week panel is in, and joining us this evening, Darren Krause, editor and founder of Livewire Calgary, and Bob Sumner, former 30-year news veteran, now media and communications consultant. Good evening to you both, and let's begin with tapping the tourism market. In a bid to stimulate the economy, the Alberta government is redesignating a trio of ski resorts for year-round operations.
3 all-season resort areas have the potential to create 24,000 new jobs, $3.6 billion in GDP, and $4 billion in visitor spending.
It means the resorts can pitch proposals for everything from hiking and mountain biking to authentic Indigenous opportunities.
1 in 3 international travelers come to Alberta seeking an Indigenous tourism experience. These all-season resorts are prime locations to meet that demand.
Now, in response, the resorts are considering their options to learn how it might affect Nakiska and how Fortress might reimagine the space sustainably. And Castle says whether it puts forward a proposal or not, they appreciate recognition of the incredible potential of all-season resorts. It's hoped such a move might keep more Albertans from heading west.
$1.2 billion of Albertans' money is traveling across the border to spend throughout the visitor economy in BC. I think the objective here is to develop product within Alberta that Albertans can use all year round, not to mention international visitors.
Now, wildlife advocates are calling for a clear framework and public consultation.
Albertans need to do their best to ensure their government is accountable to them. Public lands are for the public, they're for the people. We shouldn't see them privatized at our expense.
The government says other resorts will also be considered for all-season designation. Darren, what do you see tipping the scales for winter resorts like this to go the all-season route?
Well, I mean, ultimately, it's going to be money and whether a business case and whether the public and environmentalists can stomach the development with holding things up for years. I mean, potential resort operators have to see a path forward. And if they don't see that path forward, it might take some time before we actually see anything really substantive take shape in these areas.
Bob, if the investment and the motivation is there, how do you see this transforming the tourism landscape in our province?
Yeah, well, I think there is a plan. I know there's a plan in place. And as we've discussed on this show many times, Michael, like Lake Louise and Banff are full. There's no room out there for people anymore. So we have to go other places. So I'm thinking places like even the Diamond Valley down around the Castle area. Nordegg, I know there's a plan to try and get people there more. And I mean, we have these wonderful places that are underutilized. Now, I think that if we can get people into these areas more and more, I think it's a good thing as long as it's sustainable and it doesn't, like Darren said, the environmental aspect of this has to be taken care of.
All right. So, Darren, whether it's ski season or through the summer months, a lot of Albertans head into BC. So is this a move that's likely to keep many of us here at home?
Well, I think ultimately it will depend on what is made available. I know that until you get to Crow's Nest Pass, there isn't a lot of golf in these corridors. So maybe the golf is a year-round thing, mountain biking, hiking, those sorts of things. But there's also a lot of Albertans who travel to BC because that's where they've got cabins, whether it's in Fernie or Cranbrook, Radium, those sorts of areas, Koocanusa Lake. So it's going to take some time to train a different part of the population to either give up that lifestyle in BC or to show Albertans who are used to traveling into the interior of BC that there are these options available in Alberta.
Bob, those of us of a certain age remember Fortress Mountain from way back when. Might this be the lifeline that gets Fortress up and running again?
Here's hoping, because they could change the name back to Fortress. Fast Gas now. But, I mean, that was a legendary hill. People would just love going there. It was a chill place. I think it'd be great to open it again. Not just cat skiing, but like full lifts and just go for it. Build some hotels. Maybe another Nordic spa, because that's what we need out there. But, yeah.
Be interesting to
see.
Lots of skiers. Eyeing up Fortress again. All right. Next up, the implementation of a groundbreaking social media ban. As of this week, children in Australia under the age of 16 can no longer legally have accounts on sites like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat. And it's a law some parents would like to see adopted in Canada, like Amanda Ebinger, whose daughter at the age of 11 was the target of online rumors, attacks so vicious she started to self-harm.
We took her to the hospital and she stayed there for the weekend. And then after that, I realized, okay, we can't be here anymore.
Yeah, now the family ended up moving. And while Australia's law aims to prevent online bullying, critics call it an infringement and tough to enforce. There are also concerns about kids losing a communications tool or even being pushed into darker parts of the internet. Proponents, though, call it an important first step.
Generally, whenever you have one of these large policy changes, it's going to help some people and harm some people. And so I think Australia is making the bet that overall on the longer term, that this will be more helpful than harmful.
The Australian ban puts the onus on tech companies to enforce age restrictions. Failing to do so could result in fines of up to $45 million Canadian value. Bob, what do you see Australia accomplishing with this first of its kind legislation? Is the intent likely to match the action?
I think that the intent is good. And I don't want to. I know Darren wants to talk about parental responsibility too, so I'll jump on it a little bit. But I mean, at the end of the day, it comes back to just making sure your kids are being safe on these things. And sooner or later they're going to get on. So let's see what happens. I mean, that case we just had last week of the AI guy creating naked shots of young girls. I mean, that's just ridiculous. That's got to stop.
Well, okay, so Darren, as a parent, what do you make of the counterpoint of unintended consequences that kids could be losing an important communications tool?
Well, that sounds like something directly out of my 15-year-old son's mouth. But the reality is here, I mean, this is something that parents need to take ownership of. The legislation is, I mean, we're legislating here to close a gap that's actually been created by parents. Parents are letting their kids use devices as babysitters, and they use them as monitors. And we're not paying a lot of attention there. So I mean, kids are going to find a way to communicate. I don't know that it's going to have that big of an impact on them. And in fact, if you read Jonathan Haidt's book, An Anxious Generation, he actually says in areas where they have tried these cell phone bans and social media bans, that kids are actually relieved. They're like, yes, we want you to take this away from us because we don't know how to stop. So I think those kids who want to do it are probably going to continue to do it. But a lot of kids are going to figure out a different way to communicate. But I think it's ultimately up to the parents to go, hey, there's an issue here, and we don't need government to step in to make that happen.
Bob, how do you see a push in this regard going over in Canada?
Oh, I mean, they can try it. They took phones out of schools, I think, didn't they? And I mean, I don't know. When I grew up, the parents would put us in front of the TV and we'd watch the Flintstones. So I don't know. It's a form of babysitting, like Darren alluded to there. I think people will be against it. So the kids are going to scream up, but I think at the end of the day, they would be happy if they didn't have to stare at their phones all the time and get back in the real world a little bit. So I don't know. Let's see if it goes. It's a freedom thing, right? So.
Yeah, well, it could well be. The push does start to build here in Canada. Time for us, though, take a bit of a break. When we come back, things to consider this holiday travel season and an Alberta entrepreneur's approach to getting the most out of your Christmas tree. More from our Primetime This Week panel in a moment. Welcome back. Alberta's two biggest airports are gearing up for a busy holiday season. And, well, it might be quiet at the moment. YYC is ready to welcome 1.5 million travelers through the month of December, and arriving just in time, a $50 million high-tech centralized screening area.
The opening of those 7 lanes represents almost a 40% improvement in capacity versus what is there today, and for the travelers offers a much simpler traveler experience.
Border agents also expected to be busy with those coming and going from Canada.
Here in Alberta, CBSA officers made more than 1,100 illegal narcotic seizures, including several significant seizures right here at the Calgary International Airport.
Now, while Edmonton's airport is also rolling out the new scanners, travelers are being urged to take note of new rules, especially if you're heading south of the border. A stay of longer than 30 days requires registering with the U.S. government. And no matter what, be prepared to show evidence you'll be returning to Canada.
Do you have a job that you're coming back to? Do you have a return flight? Things like that they might ask you those questions, and you got to be prepared for that.
Still, quick winter getaways should pose little in the way of worries.
We just kind of reassure them that, short-term trips absolutely haven't had any complications whatsoever.
Now, some added advice. Keep your passport up to date and in good condition. Bob, how comfortable are you at the moment with traveling south of the border, given some of the new U.S. rules?
Well, it's a hard pass for me, but I know a lot of people are going down there because you can see it on social media. Like the NFR right now is full of Calgarians, but I'm not against that. They can do whatever they want. It's just not for me, honestly, anymore. It doesn't interest me to go down there, especially with the exchange rate as it is. And I don't know if I think I'd be safe giving up 5 years of my social media history, but you never know.
Well, there is that point as well. Now, Darren, what do you make of all, we saw the images there, this high-tech screening equipment, infrastructure being rolled out in both Calgary and Edmonton. How might that change the holiday travel experience?
Well, I think that's the key thing, Michael, is that it will change. I think eventually this is going to actually make things a lot faster through both airports. But I mean, this is new technology. It's a new system for both Calgary and Edmonton airports. And while it's rolling out at one of the busiest times of the year, my guess is there might be a few hiccups here and there. So I would give myself a little bit of extra time, especially with the influx of holiday travelers. Come spring, you want to take that, late spring trip away. I think it's probably going to be even better, and it'll probably speed things up overall.
Yep, some excellent advice there. All right, one more topic, and it features a unique twist on celebrating the holiday season. For those who find real Christmas trees a bit of a hassle, this Alberta entrepreneur is offering an option.
Instead of getting a Christmas tree every year and basically throwing it out or getting a plastic tree, we thought, we could really rent these throughout their life cycle.
Yeah, it's a passion project Mike Farlinger started on Facebook Marketplace and has now sprouted into a tradition for hundreds of families in the Edmonton region. And once they hit a certain height, the trees outgrow their rental cycle. That's when some extend a forever home branch.
They get it for the Christmas season, keep it in their yard, and then they plant it. So, we've got people that are coming back they get a tree, they plant it, and then they come back for another tree.
Bringing some added incentive to the equation, the city of Edmonton recently chopped its annual curbside tree pickup. Darren, did it ever cross your mind that renting a Christmas tree might be an option? What degree of appeal does that have for the Krause household?
Well, you know what? Given the fact that you have to almost ransom one of your firstborn children to buy a tree these days, at least a good tree, this actually, makes some sense. I'm not sure how, it's never crossed my mind, and I'm not sure about the appeal that it has to me. Although I have to say, it is a fascinating idea. And just to tie it back to that whole adaptability, social media thing, this is a great case of adaptation and how people just come up with these ingenious ways of doing things. And I think this is a great example of entrepreneurship in motion.
Well, Bob, the trees are priced according to their type and size. You pay a deposit that is refunded when you bring it back in good condition. What do you make of this as a business model?
Well, right away I thought, could we do this at Halloween and rent pumpkins? But I don't think that's a sustainable model. But I think it might work. It's like Arbor Day reinvented, right? Remember, we used to have to plant trees and then go back and visit them later. So maybe this is a good idea. I know in our house we just put up one of those ceramic ones and plug it in, but it might be fun for families to do this. So yeah, I'm not gonna be like this. I'm like. All
right, gents, we have about 30 seconds each for a winner or a loser. Darren?
Well, you know what? We're losers today when it's cold, but we are going to be real winners at the start of next week because it is going to warm up and it's going to be balmy southern Alberta weather here in Calgary.
Not so sure about that in Edmonton. Okay, Bob, your turn.
All right. Well, it looks like we're going to have enough snow for a nice white Christmas, so that's a winner. And losers, definitely the weather. It's too cold, man. Go away.
It's a little bit early for the cold, isn't it? I agree. Okay, gents, we'll have to leave it there. Great to see you both. Hope you have an awesome weekend.
Yeah. Talk to you later. Thank you.